I'm going to give a quick demonstration of some additional Photoshop features. Ready? Here we go. So the first tool I'm going to be showing off is the Clone Stamp tool. This allows me to copy pieces of a photo and place them somewhere else. Great for expanding how far a texture goes, for example. Like, I consider this grass to be a texture. So if I hold Alt and click here, I copy that area of grass, and now I can paste it over here. You see a little plus sign there? Like, let me go up and click. See how there's a plus sign? That indicates where I'm currently copying from. So as you move along, you're actually copying from a different area. That's important to remember. So you're not just copying from the same area, no matter where you brush. So that's important to know. So I'm going to hold Alt again, copy that area. But even still, to avoid getting any kind of repeating patterns, I want to copy a different nearby area every so often, so nothing gets repeated. There. So I just edited out that part of the path as if it was never there. I'll do the same to there. So it looks like this dude's riding his bike on just grass. I could edit him out if I wanted to, but I won't. I'm not like that. Okay, it looks pretty good, I guess. I'm very confident, I know. It looks a tad blurry right here. So what we can do is we can go to what's called the Sharpen tool and just click and drag for a second. That sharpens it up a bit. Let me go back and let's see if we can spot any differences in this area. Just barely. I'll go back again. Now I'm going back. Now I'm going forward. And back and forward. Very subtle difference, but it did make a difference. Let's just say that the opposite was true. Like, an area was too sharp, too defined compared to the rest of the picture. See, now you can see it. I can do the opposite. Go to the Blur tool. I can increase the size of any tool I'm using by pressing those one of those two square brackets beside the letter P on the keyboard. And I can blur it. There. That looks much better than it did before. It looks like it blends in better. So here's what it looked like before I did that. And then afterwards. It looked better before I ever used the blur tool. Obviously I sharpened it way too much. But that's... okay. That's good. So we would use the blur or sharpen tools to make things that we edited, blend in better with the background or whatever picture that they're on. The smudge tool does something completely different. It kind of smudges things. I'm not going to talk about that. It kind of smudges things. What I am going to talk about is the whole concept of layers. So we know what layers are. We know what they do. They allow us to work with part of our project without affecting another. But in Photoshop, each time I draw something, like a shape, or each time I paste in a picture that I find elsewhere, a new layer is created automatically. The same goes for text, too. See, now there's a text layer. And if I press Ctrl-T to go into transform mode, I can resize text or shape or any layer that I'm on. Like the normal way, like how you normally would. And then press Enter to get out of transform mode. It's important that we press Enter to get out of transform mode because, well, you'll see if you try to click another tool. Oh, okay, it's not happening now, but if I try to do something else, sometimes you'll get a message asking you if you want to apply the transformation. I don't know why I didn't just then, but oh well. Oh, maybe it's because I didn't actually transform it. Oh, there we go. Okay. There. That's all that means. Watch what happens when I click the rectangle and try to erase part of it. Okay, sometimes you get that message. Just click OK. That's not what I wanted to show you, though. Notice how I'm clicking and dragging over the background, but the background is not erasing. So in order to do something like that in Illustrator, we'd have to lock the background layer so we wouldn't erase it accidentally. In Photoshop's case, you can't actually erase any layer except for the one you have selected. Unless you link two layers together or merge them or something like that. Actually, the layers can't be linked. They have to be merged outright. Okay. Let me just go here to the layer style menu. So I got here by double clicking a blank area beside the name of the layer. Or you can right click and go to blending options. So there are multiple ways of getting here. And you can apply a variety of effects to your layer. It's easiest to notice on text a lot of the time, but bevel and emboss is kind of a simulated 3D bumpy effect. You can also do things like apply an outer glow. However, if you just check the box, you're only getting the default settings, so you have to actually click on it, click on the name, and then you can see the actual options appear. Then I can change the color of the glow to like bluish, because blue is great. And I can play around with these options to increase the size and the spread and other things. However, I don't want to do too much with this because I don't want this computer to crash while I'm making this video, so I won't actually do that. But click OK, and then below here, you can see every effect you used. So you know what? Maybe I'll just check off stroke. Okay, just so you can see two of them here. And what you can do is you can click beside the name of each effect, the eyeball, that is, to hide that particular effect. So you can see how it looks without it being applied. If you want to eliminate all the effects, just click the eyeball and all of the effects are gone. And click it again to put them back. You can also click the eyeball beside the name of the layer itself to hide the entire layer, just like in Illustrator. And if you want to delete a layer, just right click and delete, or press backspace. So that's what we can do. So that was a quick but useful demonstration of the clone stamp used for copying pieces of a photo or textures. We now know that we have access to the blur and sharpen tools for making other pieces of our photo blend in that may not normally blend in. We can erase if we want to, and we can access a variety of effects from the layer style menu. One last thing. I'm just going to press Ctrl T to resize this. Now this picture, of course, does fit this artboard, but what if it didn't? Let's just say it didn't. You know, it's like this. And this is the actual size of the photo, and there's nothing else I can do about it. What we can do is we can use what's called the crop tool to get rid of this empty space on the artboard. So when you click the crop tool, this border appears along the artboard called the frame. If I drag in the frame from anywhere, I can just drag it up to my picture. I can also drag it down if I want to. Because remember, to crop something means to cut out the outer areas of an image. So we might remember that idea or concept from Publisher. And once I do that, I can just press enter, and then I only have the pieces of the project that I want to keep. And that's it. So we'll be making use of those things and more in the near future. This may be the last video you watch for this class, seeing as we are going back to a nearly full schedule. So it's been a pleasure making these. I hope you enjoyed the music that goes along with it. And that's going to be it. The rest of my demonstrations will be done in class, the way it should be.